part of Rome and the rest of Italy's population? This question can be answered by the Bible. Who were the Syrians? The Roman province of Syria stretched from the Mediterranean Sea to the Euphrates River in the east, and from Asia Minor to Palestine in the south.
From Asia Minor to Palestine in the south. Israelites. Go ahead.
It says, by the Roman times, there were many different people dwelling in Syria. This was a result of numerous invasions and population movements, starting with Assyrian conquest half a century before the Romans came. When the Assyrians conquered a territory, they typically deported the inhabitants to the extreme part of their empire and repopulated the land with other peoples. The biblical book of Ezra describes the various people settling in the Syrian area after the Assyrian repopulation policy. Then wrote Rehum the chancellor and Shimshai the scribe and the rest of their companions, the Dinaites, the Arphaxadites, the Tarpelites, the Arpharsites, the Archivites, the Babylonians, the Suchanites, the Dehavites, and the Elamites, and the rest of the nations whom the great and noble Asnapper, Ashurbanipal, brought over and set in the city of Samaria, and the rest that were on this side the river, west of the Euphrates, and at such a time, Ezra 4, 9-10. The people dwelling in Samaria and in other lands west of the Euphrates, meaning Syria, were a mixed group coming from Mesopotamia and Persia, with 9 people specifically mentioned of a whole multitude resettled by the Assyrians. 2 Kings 16 records how the Assyrians, King Tiglath-Pileser, carried away the Syrians into captivity. Many of the original inhabitants of Syria, called Aramaeans, were deported to a land south of the Caucasus, now known as Armenia.
Amen. Yeah, because the Armenians, they're Israelites. All right? Go ahead.
Amos chapter 1, verses 3-5. This is exactly what the Assyrians did.
Like, for example, Kardashians, those are Israelites. Those are Israelites, and they act just like Israelites. Go ahead.
This is exactly what the Assyrians did to the kingdom of Israel, deporting the Israelites toward the Caucasus region and replacing them with essentially...
Read that again. Read that again.
This is exactly what the Assyrians did to the kingdom of Israel, deporting the Israelites toward the Caucasus region and replacing them with essentially the same people used to repopulate Syria. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Kutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sephar.
So basically, Israelites are all over the planet Earth, man. You have Israelites. Matter of fact, give me Revelation the 7th chapter, and start from the 4th verse. Go, and then from there go to Revelation the 5th chapter. All right, go ahead.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 4, I'm sorry. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000.
I jump past all the tribes. We know about the different tribes. Go ahead.
Verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude.
The 12,000 out of each tribe, we know that they were Israelites, right? So this is where people go off on. Go ahead.
After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues.
This is where Jake goes off. Oh, see, but now these are the other nations. They're not the other nations. They're talking about Israelites. Go ahead.
It says, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues.
Why did it say which no man could number? When you go to Hosea, matter of fact, go to that, Hosea. Hosea 1, start from the 10th verse. And even Paul reiterated what Hosea said in Romans the 9th chapter, and around about the 24th verse. Go ahead.
Hosea chapter 1 verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them,
the place is America. Go ahead.
Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head. and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the...
And that land is, you can't tell me that that land is talking about the Babylonians or the Romans or the Medo-Persian Empire or the Greeks, because all these lands that we served as slaves under these different rulers, we all knew during the time of our captivity that we were Israelites. Even during the time of Alexander the Greek and during the time of the Seleucid kingdom, we knew that we were Israelites. That's why Antiochus Epiphanes went in our land and destroyed the temple. And then he forced us to say we're not Israelites. But during that time period, we knew that we were Israelites. So read that verse again.
It says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living power. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
So if it's not any of those lands that I mentioned, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Medes, the Greeks, the Romans, what land is it talking about? Because we came up out of even Egypt. We know it's not talking about ancient Egypt, Mart to Zion, because we came up out of all those lands knowing that we were Israelites. So what can it be talking about? It has to be talking about America, because in this land they don't acknowledge you as being Israelites. And the fact that we're waking up to the fact that we're Israelites, you got these so-called Jews and these so-called scholars making counter videos on YouTube saying that we're not the people. Because for the longest time we were never called the people. So now that we're calling ourselves Israelites in the place, what place? America, where it was said, ye are not my people, there it shall be said that ye are the sons of the living power. All right? Go ahead.
It's back in Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book, and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
Yeah, read that again. Read that again, brother.
And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book, and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
So that's that multitude. Now let's go back to the 4th chapter, and let's go back to the multitude again. Go ahead.
Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindred and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb.